My garden looks like it should be shutting down for winter, but everything out here is exploding with life. And of course, here we go with the raised garden bed tour for November 2025. We're looking here at the GreenStalk, which is where I normally start this tour, and I just had to show you, look at this parsley that we planted just a few months ago, just from some seeds from that plant. You can barely see that in the sun. We pulled seeds by the handful off of this plant over here a few months ago, and we planted them in this little bin right here, and look how thick they're growing down in here. We have parsley forever. It is so awesome to see that. Strawberries are still making runners like crazy, which is the coolest thing you can see. In fact, this thing is long enough now, if I can get myself all untangled here, I can come in here and say, hey, you get yourself a spot, and you get yourself a spot, and you get yourself in there. I've got to get some staples to put those in with and hold them in place so that they will get attached to the soil. Strawberries still going. We got some more strawberries we're going to look at here in a little bit, and I happen to know there's a little bit of weed activity going on there that we're going to have to deal with. But, I left this thing out here last month, and I never did anything with it. Good grief, look at that. That is just amazing. Look at the roots on that thing. I think that's just the coolest thing. Free plants, friend. Free plants. We also have our mystery brassica here, of course. I don't know what it is. It was a cauliflower or a broccoli. Oh, there is a tag here, but I don't think I can read it. What does that say? I have no clue. Okay. So that was something, and I'm just wanting to see how long it'll go. These leaves are edible from what I understand. They're not that great, and then of course we have this same dino kale sitting here that's been sitting here forever. That is just so funny to see that. We have, I see some random parsley plants coming up right down here. We have parsley coming up everywhere down here. Look at there. Look at there. That is so cool. Coming around to bed number 1. We have, as you know, my favorite thing, the turmeric, and it is looking dead. We are going to be shooting a video here pretty soon, harvesting all this turmeric. I'd love to see 40 pounds worth of turmeric harvested. I don't know if that's what's going to happen or not. We'll have to see. But all the turmeric in here, all these dying and dead leaves like this, these need to get harvested, and we need to see what's under the ground. I'm very excited about that. And of course, the zinnias are still growing in here. Oh, looky there. There's that turmeric bloom. It's starting to get weathered. That's okay. Zinnias all over the place. These things are just keep right on blooming right up until they can't anymore. They will go right up until the cold and look beautiful. This is not a lot of space left over for zinnias to grow. We do have the 2 flowers here. This one's faded. There's another here. But yeah, I like the zinnias. They make good color in here, good little splashes. We got all kinds of ginger underneath here. In fact, this here is ginger. I'm kind of curious to see what we get on the ginger as well. We're going to have an interesting harvest, so be sure and subscribe to Bowtie Life so you don't miss all the progress going on in the garden. We got tons of stuff growing in here. Oh, look at this. This is new. Look at this zinnia. Just popping up out of nowhere. That is awesome. So we have our blackberries here that you can see I'm just continuing to tuck in wherever I need to, and they will just keep growing. This thing is just, you can see in the sun, let me block the sun, but you can see how thick these things are growing all the way over this arch trellis. Not quite as thick as last year. Actually, it might be a lot thicker than last year now that I think about it. This time last year, yeah, it's pretty thick. We're coming down here past all the turmeric. I just can't get over this. There's going to be a lot of turmeric underneath here. We're going to be looking over here at, another arch trellis with more blackberries that I just keep right on tucking vines in. We're looking for a big harvest this next year that we can make a lot of blackberry wine from. Oh, it's so good. And you know what we have? This thing over here, I got to point out, this Peri Peri up here is about 6 foot tall. It's about 1.5 feet above my head, and the soil is about 1 foot above my feet. So this thing is a full 2 meters tall. This is a massive pepper plant, And it was big when we transplanted it, I have no doubt, but the peppers are not nearly as big. It did not get fed at all. Just flat out didn't get fed at all. Now we do have down below here a Tabasco plant, which is just looking amazing. And like there's Tabasco peppers right there. How about that? And of course there's Peri Peri in here. We're going to be harvesting more of these. We've harvested a lot of these Fatali, these yellow ones back in here. We've harvested a lot of these already. But the Peppadew, which that plant right there is a Peppadew plant, and I'm hoping we can get one more flush from that before we get done with the season. And then of course this Peppadew here is still trying to go. Still trying to grow stuff. Looking down in the walkway, we have the Biden's alba growing everywhere, but we also have, I'm looking straight down. In fact, there's my foot right there. I'm looking straight down at these zinnias that are just growing everywhere. I love that. I just love that. What is this right here? Oh my. It's not growing from down there. It's growing from the bed. Oh, that's pretty funny. So I'm coming around here to the end of bed number 1, and there's an aroma out here, which means there's probably a rat somewhere nearby. They tend to smell pretty bad. And I'm standing here next to the wood pile, or what's left of the wood pile. I got a big chunk of that wood pile, but that's the outer garden bed. We don't really cover that in this raised garden bed tour. But we come around here, and of course there's that Peppadew I was just showing you. There's more. I do want to show you this beauty right here. This jalapeno plant is just making a ton of jalapenos. I might try to overwinter this. This is a mammoth jalapeno, obviously. Didn't get much food. Actually, didn't get any food this year. But it's growing just fine. These things are growing like monsters. I see another Peri Peri. Those little red peppers right there are Peri Peri. This Peppadew here, this is getting ready to give us another flush, though. Look at all the little green ones here. We're going to have another good flush out of this. I did get a good harvest off of this already. But we come around here. Now, I will say, I used another feed on this Dorset Naga pepper, and I'm not very impressed with how they look. I don't know if it was the feed or what. Neither one of these have done great. But the Dorset Naga, it's a pretty hot pepper, and these two plants just haven't been producing the way the other one, and you'll see the other one here in a little bit. But that's a hot, mega hot pepper. In fact, you can go and see me and Jason Pope over at Allotment of the Dead eating a couple of these on that first live stream that we did. Oh, it was a good one. Coming around here to the mystery tree. I have no idea what it is, and it is leaning. I don't know if I want to straighten it or even waste my time on it. If nothing else, we need to come in here and we need to thin a lot of these crossing branches, but I just don't have a lot of hope for this thing being of any use. So this here is a new development. This is our little solitaire bee box, and I don't know what is going on here, but there are ants all over it. And I don't know where they came from. I can't find a trail leading up there, but oof, that's a lot of ants. Look at that. They are just crawling all over it. Not very pleased with how that looks, of course. Ooh, there's a sun right there. They're on the back. Oh my goodness. Are they up inside there? I can't tell. Huh. Yeah, we need to get a real bee box in here. So in the beginning of bed number 2, we are looking at a huge tomato plant. This is an Everglades tomato, and you can see there are tomatoes starting to come out. Here it is November, and we are starting to get tomatoes off this thing left and right. And I just actually picked a whole bunch of them off of here, about half a pound. And Mrs. Bowtie loves these. They're, I guess, a spoon tomato, but this plant is prolific, and it's going to produce. We're going to have a little bit of harvest every day until the cold comes, and I don't know when that's going to be. We have something cool coming in the forecast for next week, but the long-range forecast doesn't have us getting cold at all. Again, more turmeric in here. And down inside here, this is blackberry that we are going to be allowing to grow. But notice how it's all sharing space. The turmeric is growing down underneath the blackberry. The blackberry is incorporating right with the tomatoes. The tomatoes are producing. The blackberries will produce. The turmeric is producing. It's going to produce as well. We'll have a harvest off of that here pretty soon. Oh, these Everglades tomatoes are tasty. I do like these so much. My garden snack right now. Oh, and such a nice strong flavor. We're going to come around this side of the bed number 2. I do want to show you our purple basil coming up. We planted this. Would you believe we planted this way back in the spring? In fact, oh, that says Dorset Naga. That's not a Dorset Naga. What on earth? Okay, that's it. I don't believe that's the Dorset Naga. But okay, whatever the tag says. That tag is in the wrong place. We had some purple basil, which is what this big old plant right here is, but it never turned purple. So I have a feeling we got a seed mixed in from another kind of basil. This whole thing is one plant growing down inside that ring right there. Big old basil plant. Big old basil plant. More turmeric. Oh my goodness, the turmeric. Yes, we're going to have just absolute tons and tons of turmeric. That's a bell pepper. A little tiny, scrawny one. Look at that little thing. This plant is growing out of this cup right here. This is a Color Blends bell pepper. That's interesting. These are my plants from, to see if we can see the date on this tag. It was March 11th, and it is just now, the end of November, producing. Can you call that a bell pepper? It's edible. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. Same thing with that basil that we just saw right here. The purple basil. Obviously, that's the purple basil. I don't know why the tag is wrong in there. In fact, the tag, yeah, there it is, 311. Interesting, very interesting. What do we have over here? This could be a pepper plant. What is this? That's a Dorset Naga that's just left in the cup all year. There's another one right there. Oh my goodness. Look, what is it? What, that might be a tie hot. Yep, that's a tie hot from March 25th of 2025. Wow, look at that. One little tie hot pepper. That is too funny. Talk about the resiliency, the determination of a plant to grow. That blows my mind. These are all my seedling trays from March, obviously, that never got planted. Our mystery pepper plant over here is still growing bigger. This thing is huge. There's several of them on here. I cannot wait to figure out what these are, if I ever do figure out what they are. There's 4 big peppers over here. Is it 4 of them on this side? 1, 2, 3. 3 on that side, and 1 smaller one over on this side. If you know what these are, tell me in the comments below. This is that same, Everglades tomato plant. Looky, there's one right there. Oh my goodness, that thing, that is pure deliciousness right there. Oh yay, so good, so good. This here is a Principe Borghese potato. This right here is a Principe Borghese cherry tomato plant. There's, like I said, I've just picked some off of here already, but look how big these things are growing. This thing was planted way back, same time those other tomato plants, back in March. Put in the ground, maybe April, somewhere in there. We had a video on these things not growing. In fact, that one there was the big one that was growing in that video. This is one of the 2 small ones that were growing next to it that you saw in that video where we added compost. And it is still November 23rd, still alive and still producing. That's amazing. These things will produce until it gets cold. And if we happen to not get cold, we don't get cold. There are beans on these bean plants still that I am harvesting. Looky there. There are beans. I need to get in here and harvest some more of these. Again, these things were planted way back in March or April. Still growing. Over on this side, these are, and look at this. This is a dead looking vine, but we still have blooms coming off of this sun gold tomato. I'm very excited to see that. And there are actually some tomatoes up here, though I'm not sure if these are sun gold or the Supersweet 100 that is growing from over here. That's very strange. We're going to get to bed 3 in just a minute. Don't want to spoil anything there. There's blackberries growing over here. I might end up having to pull some of these blackberries out. But they are just going and saying, I'm not sure I want that many blackberries on this side over here. There is a mint bag. This mint is really beginning to peter out. We looked at this a couple of times over the past. That's all mint in there. This is all mint. Handfuls of mint. Got a lot of these not marigold. I always say that. Magnolia leaves in here. Oh, the mint smell is amazing though. But yep, this chocolate mint is going to be just fine. It's going to develop and be wonderful. For next year, it'll come back. Most of the time it does. Just a quick look on the other side on these beans. We were just on the other side of this bed. You can see how thin they're getting. There are still beans on this side, but we just need to finish these up, and they will eventually get cleaned out. Past bed number 2, we have the aloe patch with a lot of Biden's alba and grass growing in it, all over it. I need to get in here and start cleaning these out so this aloe can start doing that right there. I mean, that's just an amazing plant to see growing right out of the ground. Coming around to bed number 3, more of that turmeric in here that's starting to really peter out. It's getting that time of year. Here's some wonderful zinnia seeds. Look, that's a whole packet of seeds, if not more, of these zinnias ready to go for us. We can pull that head, harvest the seeds off that, and have seeds for next year, which I have done a lot of already, and we will continue to do. This is, of course, well, look at all the zinnias over here. This is all zinnias, and a big old healthy looking mint pot over there. That's a chocolate mint plant that we planted in last spring's mint planting video. And of course there's a link up there in the corner, tells you there's a link in the description below if you want to learn about mint. That was one of my big videos this past year. Down in here, of course, is the strawberry bed, and I need to do something about these magnolia leaves because they are just getting prolific. I need to put in my low tunnel in here to somehow protect these things from the leaves, and it's beginning to become an epidemic because these leaves are going to kill out, of course, all the great strawberries that I've been planting up in here. I mean, look at here. There's one here. There's another good strawberry plant right there. They're all over the place, and little runners coming out everywhere. We just need to start protecting this bed better. I am going to have to put in the low tunnel arches on this so that these leaves do not kill off my strawberry patch. Doggone it. That's an annoyance. Citronella over here, of course, I have not done anything with this. It needs to get some more branches trimmed off and so it can regrow. This, of course, is a perennial here. It will kind of die back this winter, and then it'll come back again in the spring, hopefully, if I can keep it living. It's been a good plant. I've had these things last several years for me. A few more of these turmeric in here, of course. Well, I'm looking forward to the harvest on that. This is one of the big turmeric beds right here that we're keeping an eye on, and I'm also keeping an eye, just by way of mention, I am keeping an eye out down in this region right here for the elephant garlic corms to start growing. I don't remember if they grew in the end of the year or if they will come the beginning of next year. I'm suspecting the beginning of next year. The camera's looking straight down from the top, but I don't see anything growing in here, so I'm going to continue to let these things rest. There's, I think, 6 of them along here, and I just need to let it do its thing. And of course over here, the turmeric, another sago. Good grief. I know I buried, oh, look, there's another bloom. These sagos, I buried some trunks underneath here, and it was a mistake. These sagos just keep coming up all the time. Got to keep those things from, I see there's a whole bunch of them down behind there that I just need to keep in control. You can see, like right there is those little thin leaves, and right behind that, right there, that's a sago palm. The berries, of course, are poisonous. We don't really, I should say, I don't really like having them around. When we bought our house, first thing I did the Friday after we moved in was chop down the one sago palm right next to the front door. It was dangerous. I even found one of my infamous cherry laurels on the back side of this bed. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we don't want those. These are the trees I've been trying to fight. Now looking at this, oh my Dorset Naga. Now this plant here got some of my own compost. It got some tomato tone, and it is producing prolifically. You can see here from the other side, it looks beautiful with just tons and tons of peppers. I need to come out and start harvesting these. I am going to collect some of these for seed, which means I will be allowing these to get very, very mature, even start browning a little bit before I pick the last of them, just so I can get plenty of seed for next year. These were kind of difficult to get for me. Down below here, of course, these are ginger blooms, and you can see right there is a hunk of ginger sticking up out of the ground, and I need to go start thinking about when we're going to be harvesting this ginger. I do love ginger. I do want to get plenty of it this year. I was intending originally to break off pieces and plant them about more often this year, but that did not happen because, frankly, I forgot, I got busy, and then of course things like this popped up. And this is an elephant ear. This is not an edible kind, but look how enormous, look how gargantuan these leaves are. I am a 6 foot tall person, and I think my hands are pretty average for a 6 foot tall person, but these leaves, you can tell why they are called elephant ears. Oh my goodness, that's just mind blowing. That's just amazing. But we need to start being a little more proactive about getting these out. I would like to get in here and start planting the edible taro and try to do something with those. I don't know if that's going to be an option for us or not, but that is an impressive looking plant. I'm kind of hoping that it gives me a bloom. In fact, if you look down in here, there is something coming up. Oh, there, it's behind this one. There is something coming up right here on this thing. And I don't know what it is. If it's, oh, I see. It's going to split open. It's what this was right here. It's going to split open and reveal yet another leaf or something growing up. I'd love to see a bloom stalk come out of one of these eventually, which is kind of the cool thing. But again, not edible. Some of these are poisonous, and I believe this is one of the poisonous ones. This is an interesting structure on these. It actually keeps the next branch enclosed in this protective thing and then opens up, and you can see here, this one here is getting ready to open up. I don't feel that it's opening up anywhere, but interesting. That is really interesting. On the opposite side of this bed, of course, is what's left of our Supersweet 100 tomato plant, and it actually is giving us blooms. I don't quite understand how this thing is even living, because look how dead these branches look. Yet it's coming from down here at the base of this Supersweet 100 plant. This tag, you can see it was written back on February 20th of 2025. That is a 25, I'm sure of it, not a 29. Ferrymore Supersweet 100, something I got from Lowe's, I believe, and that thing is still pumping life into these leaves, even though it looks so dead. I don't want to break anything. That one is obviously dead, but oh my goodness, that's just quite amazing. No pruning has been done on this at all, as you can tell. And of course, these goji berry bushes down in here need to be taken care of. We'll be doing a little pruning on these this year and hopefully refreshing these for next year. Sometimes I say that and it never happens. Just busy in the garden. Give yourself some mercy. These Dorset Nagas, if you like a little bit of heat, not this kind of crazy heat, but if you like a little bit of heat, try sucking on one of these. It's actually got a really good flavor. But don't bite it, because it'll get you. 1.6 million on the Scoville scale. That's how these things rate. But boy, it's got a nice flavor, and it's got a really good touch of heat. Anyway, and that is, of course, the garden tour for November of 2025. We're going to call that quits. I'm going to stick that pepper in my pocket. These peppers, I got to get them harvested. I was kind of waiting for the end of this video, and we'll get the rest of these Dorset Nagas taken care of. I am going to leave several of these on here, like I mentioned earlier, so that we can have seeds off of this. I will have seeds for life after this year. This plant over here is just producing strong. A little disappointed in the other plants over on the other side at the end of bed number 1. But yeah, as I mentioned, we are coming to a little period of cool weather. They say we might get down into the 40s, and I'm not sure it's going to happen. Our water temperature is still a little bit warm, so we'll just have to see what happens. We'll have a full report in the beginning of the December garden tours, which is coming right up next month. I have a feeling this video is probably going to be coming out the beginning of December, the first day. Not unprecedented, but getting better. We're getting caught up. If I can get this out the 1st of December, I will be ecstatic. Of course, we have our Amazon storefront link in the description below. When you use the Amazon store link in the description below, we get a commission on anything you buy for that day, not just the stuff that we have listed in our store, and it helps support the garden. We thank you for your support through Amazon. Thank you for following along in the Bowtie Gardens. Remember, your garden doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be yours. Have a blessed day.